Hi, Borbala Banto CPA here. As you might have heard, Congress just passed the $2 trillion CARES Act, which is the economic relief plan to offer assistance to tens of millions of American households who have been affected by the coronavirus pandemic. The bill's components include stimulus payments to individuals, expanded unemployment coverage, student loan changes, different retirement account rules, and much more. President Trump is expected to sign it soon. Here are some answers to common questions that we got regarding the stimulus component of the bill that most people were curious about. So, how large are the payments? Most adults would get $1,200, but some would get less. For every qualifying child age 16 or under, the payment would be an additional $500. How many payments are there? So far, just one, but we don't know. There might be some additional ones in the future. How do I know if I get the full amount? Now, this totally depends on your income. Single adults who do have a Social Security number, who are United States residents and have an adjusted gross income of $75,000 or less would get the full $1,200 amount. Married couples, obviously twice of that, $2,400. If your earnings are below $150,000 and you do not have children, we still have to see how the number of children affects this amount. And if you are filing as head of household, then you would get the full payment if you earn $112,500 or less. We mentioned in a previous video, adjusted gross income is all your income that was listed on the tax return, including wages, interest, dividends, capital gains, business income, K-1s from businesses, Social Security, like everything that was listed on your tax returns. Alimony if you got some. So above these income figures that I just mentioned, the payment decreases and then it stops altogether for single people who reach the $99,000 income level, or married couple who do not have children. The upper ceiling is $198,000. And I read that a family with 2 children would no longer be eligible for any payments if their income surpasses $218. So we have to see how kids further affect these numbers. So one thing to know, if you are claimed as a dependent on somebody else's tax returns, you cannot get the payment. You will not get the payment. So even if you are an adult. So in a family, for example, who claims parents, elderly parents, as dependents, or anybody else, they are not gonna get it. Even college-age kids, if you were claimed as a dependent on your parents' tax return. On the 2019 tax return, Form 1040, you can find this adjusted gross income number on line 8B. So look there. So again, would college students get anything? If anybody claims you as a dependent, no. If you claimed yourself and basically filed a tax return and you are not claimed as a dependent, then you're gonna get it. Again, you might have filed a tax return and still checked off the box that you were claimed as a dependent, then you're not gonna get the stimulus funds. What year's income will they look at? So 2019, if your tax return has not been filed, then you can use your 2018 tax information. If you have not filed yet, you can use your 2019 Social Security statement that shows your income, or like what your employer submitted on a W-2 for you. What if my recent income made me ineligible, but I anticipate being eligible because of some business losses in 2020? Do I get the payment? So the bill would not help in that circumstance right now, but you might benefit once you file your 2020 taxes. That is because this payment is technically just an advance on a tax credit that is available for the entire year and will be calculated and shown on your 2020 tax return. So depends on how much you're gonna earn this year. So you are gonna get the credit, but it's gonna be on next year's tax return. So basically it's delayed. Would I have to apply to receive the payment. No, the Internal Revenue Service already, in most cases, has your bank account information, and if they do, they would you got a direct deposit, just like you would get, basically, technically, you just got a refund direct deposited. You will get this amount there. Now, if you don't, then basically you're gonna get a check. That's what we heard, for now. So a Treasury Secretary said that it's expected that most people will get their refunds within 3 weeks. So that's good. And as a CPA, I anticipate like a lot of issues with people who like close their bank accounts, even if they got a recent refund, or or they moved since the 2019 or 18 tax returns were filed. It's gonna be a good amount of mess around this. What if my payment doesn't come soon? How can I be sure that it wasn't misdirected? According to the bill, you would get a paper notice in the mail no later than a few weeks after your payment has been disbursed. So that notice would contain information about where the payment ended up and in what form was it made. If you couldn't locate the payment at that point, it would be time to contact the IRS using the information on the notice. Again, just to call the IRS, usually it's hard anyway, so we're anticipating there are gonna be direct hotlines set up just for this. What if I haven't filed tax returns recently? Would that affect my ability to receive a payment? It could. So if you can file your returns immediately, at least 2018, according to the IRS website, those without 2018 tax filings on record could potentially affect mailings of stimulus checks. So that's what the website says right now. So if you're worried about the money that you owe and cannot pay, the IRS recommends consulting a tax professional, obviously, who can help you, request an alternative payment plan or other resolution. Would most people who are receiving Social Security, retirement, and disability payment each month also get a stimulus payment? The answer is yes. Would eligible unemployed people get these stimulus payments, or veterans? Yes, and yes. Do I have to pay income taxes on the amount of my payment? No. If my income tax refunds are currently being garnished because of a student loan default, would this payment be garnished as well? No. In fact, the bill temporarily suspends nearly all efforts to garnish tax refunds to repay debts, including those to the IRS itself. So this waiver may not apply to people who are behind it with child support, but other than that, yes. So these are the questions that we got regarding the stimulus checks. Some more news will come out, and specific things will come out about how this is going to be administered. Again, I'm anticipating it's going to be a hot mess for a while. For example, we just filed 2019 tax returns like, today, yesterday, for people. I don't know if those are going to get into the system to be evaluated for this, or, they just go directly for 2018. It's going to be a while before we know how this is going to all work out. But again, the bill was signed, and we're all hoping that most people who really need it will get their stimulus payments as soon as possible. So stay tuned on this channel and look out for more videos like this. Stay safe and healthy out there. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.